I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.
Welcome, everybody. We're a little bit early this evening, and that's a good thing because as it gets a little bit later, it's better to switch things up just a tad bit. So how are you guys? How has your week been? Mine was unique and it was nice. So I'm glad that we are now at the last day of the week and about to start a new week. Yes, we are. Tonight we are going to have our homage to Black History Month. Now I'm gonna tell you guys something. I've never been a fan. Never been a fan of Black History Month. I've just personally never been a fan of it. And let me tell you why. Because I feel like there should be American history, period. That's just always been the way that I felt. I always thought, gee whiz, why do we have a month? And I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but when you start doing that, having a month, you end up having a month for everything under the sun. And that's what I think bugs me the most. Hello to everyone. Let's say our hellos. There is the one and only Awesome Alice. Here we good. Get down, girl, dance. Alrighty, Jen G, how are you today? It's so good to see you with those beautiful hearts, my dear. Scrub of a Watchman, hey. The hand looks like, hey. And it's great to see you too. You guys are really going to see me tomorrow on our Sunday dinner. You'll really see my face then. So I am glad the impeachment is over. So am I, Awesome Alice. That was just getting on my last nerve. You know, I really didn't watch it. I think what I did watch was the former president's attorney, the very opening. He was so riveting. He just really appeared to be. Now, I don't know what happened after because I didn't watch it after that. But he really appeared to be somebody who was patriotic in nature and just really at the point that I saw him, he just appeared to be somebody who really felt like, you know, this was one of those things that was, you know, do or die, excuse me, now or never type of thing. And so I'm glad that it's over as well. We know that they're only going to come out of pocket with something else, which is my main reason for not even wanting to do a piece on it as it relates to being over, right? I did not want to talk about doing a whole entire, you know, even a video or a news brief on it because I felt like they're only going to whip something else out their back pocket. This did not work because of all of the revelation that's been taking place about the whole argument that they've made, that the 6th was, you know, something else, something other than, you know, we understood it to be. And so I think that once that started to deteriorate, there really wasn't much of a leg to stand on, if that makes any sense. You know, once people start coming out saying, hey, yeah, I'm a congressman here in Michigan, and I want to tell you what I think. I think that sort of took the wind out of their sails, as it were, right? That's exactly what I think. So, yeah, I'm glad it's over, but you guys keep a hold of your hats because I do believe that there's more to come. Sandy Aaron says, "Hello, everyone. Black Spring with Autumn is here. How are you, madam? Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Saturday Night is Live. Yes. You guys are going to have to come up with a better name for this because I almost feel it in my gut that somebody's going to say something about me using those words. Although I have gone on, onto other platforms here on YouTube. I should say other people's pages here on YouTube. And I have seen they are using the same thing. I just sort of want to get in front of it. I just, something in my gut telling me, I don't know. I don't know. Jeff Payan, Shalawam, my friend, how are you? Good evening. I just heard your theme song in my head, and here you are. Well, isn't that a good thing? I'm happy. I'm happy. And you know what? As you may or may not know, and I try to make sure that I give him a shout out all the time because he has been such an exceptional blessing to this channel, and that is Ronnie Mann. He created that, sang that, did the backgrounds. I didn't have to sing a thing on it. I didn't have to sing on it. And I just felt like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. And he just surprised me with it one day. He and his wife said, okay, now listen. And she came into the chat a little bit later and sort of broke down some of the words. I don't even think she knows that I saw that, but she did. And they are awesome. So thank you so much for that, sir. And let's see. Oh, I agree too, girl. I'm telling you, that thing's going to be a mess. It's going to be some more. That's the reason why I said, no, I'm not even going to talk about it because the next thing is going to be really goofy. That was goofy, but the next thing's going to be off the chain. Why put a label in front of all of it and simply call it history? Exactly. And that's what I think. I'm like, gee whiz. Yeah. So I'm going to go on ahead and do something surrounding Black history. I don't think everybody going to like it, but it's going to be all right. Because the thing is to provoke thought. And that's really it. One of my favorite I wrote about was Alice Walker. Very good indeed. And good evening to you, Susan Donahue. Let's see what you got here. You got some praying hands. You got me a rose. You got some, it look like an olive branch, and you fam, and you just so colorful. You know what, Susan, you coordinate everything, don't you? I mean, if there's ever like an event or something, if there's like food that needs to be done or organized, or an event that needs to be organized, people know they can lean on you, don't they, Susan? I don't. I could be wrong, but I truly and honestly feel like you're that person. God bless you, sweetheart. Let's see. You have put on your. Did you see that man put his filter on in that meeting? Did you see that man put that filter on in that meeting? I was rolling. I was like, this guy right here. And he said, oh, can you see me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Just finished watching your Cynthia McKinney interview. Awesome. Thank you, Mary G. We're working hard to get her back here. But people that have an unbelievable schedule like hers, it's sort of hard to put in, fill in all the pegs. There's two other people that I'm really, really waiting to hear a response from to see can we get them. And when I do, you guys will definitely be the first to know. But thank you so much for that. Hello, love in the midst. Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone in the chat. Much love to you all. And that's from sweet old Jen G. Much love, Jen. See, you put it out there and it comes right back to you. That's a sweet, sweet thing. Let's see who else we got here. Let's see. Here we are. More love. How are you, Susan Donahue? You guys, I love it when you guys all do your chat and talking to everybody. It's just like a big family. It's like everybody all coming in to the potluck at the same time. To the potluck, spicy up the groove Saturday. Yeah, I like that too. Spicy up the groove Saturday. I like it. Yes, Ronnie Mann. We all love him. He is so awesome. One more Saturday night. Oh yeah, I like that. What do you guys think about that? One more Saturday night with Felicia. Yes. I don't know, my friend. You may have something going there. I ain't got nothing to give you. Hey, God bless you. Black Spring with Autumn. Thank you so much, sis. How sweet of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Loving the Miss says, hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff. And then good to see you. Hi, Ronnie Man. Is Ronnie Man in the house? Oh, my goodness. I hope so. Yes, I'm that person. I knew you were. It's like if we're going to have a big gathering and we got to have somebody to spearhead the committees, you would be the person to spearhead all the committees. You would know exactly where we could get XYZ for less expensive price, whether it be the streamers, the pop. I call it pop. It's a beverage, I know, but I do call it pop. You'd be the person that said, nope, we can get 4 cases at this price over here, over there. And you would say, this is where we can get this. And this is where I know you. I can see you. I see you. We see each other, sister. Thank you, Susan. Great to be here. You guys, I'm not a cat, but did you guys see that? The cat that had the man, I think it was an attorney, and he was dealing with the judge or something, and he literally had a cat face that came on his computer. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I was tripping on those cat's eyes. Great interview at Lockhart Perspective. Thank you, sis. And good evening, Jeff. Let's see what else we got. Who else? Oh, Kathy, how are you, sister? We have missed you. I saw you dot in the other day, and then I didn't see you for a couple of days, and I didn't see you in the comments, but it is so good to see you. Love you too very much. Love you. We love you as well. You are a big part of our family, and it's so good to see you. All righty. Yes, yes, yes. Passing the love around. That's what's going on here. I may be onto something or onto something. Yes, you just might be. Potlucky. Yes. Yes. Okay, so at potluck, what is your favorite thing to bring to a good potluck? I think what I'd like to do is bring a miniature meal. I like to bring the miniature meal, especially if I'm going to a location where it may be suspect today. And if it's with a whole bunch of us in the family, well, I don't have any qualms about who I'm not going to eat, whose food I'm not going to eat, because, for example, my sisters-in-laws can all burn. There's another one with the same name that I have, the exact same name. We married brothers and we have the same exact name. And that one right there, honey, she can really throw down. So it's not like I would not eat there. But you know how sometimes you used to go to church and you would have that after Sunday meal that everybody would bring something to? You sort of had your eyebrow raised about one of the sisters because you was like, I don't know about her potato salad. I don't eat everybody's potato salad. And you just sort of left that potato salad there. The green potato salad was a telltale sign that I wasn't touching it. So if it was bright green or if it was bright yellow, which is so much mustard, and then they may put a dash of something in there that's green, like too many. Okay, so you put too much mustard, then you put too many bell pepper, if you eat bell pepper in it, and now you got a green neon sign telling everybody at the church to stay away from that bowl. Okay, so let's see who else we got here. Angela, you too, Jeff, LOL, Gorilla Glue, hello. Yeah, I think when I show you guys what we're about to see here in a moment, think about glue to the tube. When I show you guys what we're about to talk about, you remember how Sandy Aaron and myself and a couple of others of us were sort of saying that there's something they're trying to say, but they're really not saying it. We're going to start with something. And there's 2 things that I want to bring up today while doing this whole thing about Black History Month. I like to open up the eyes of folks, and I try to, sometimes I don't want to make anybody angry, but if that's what happens, so be it. My pastor used to say a couple of things. There's one thing that he would always tell us is, well, I'll tell you that in a minute. But the one thing I'm going to say is, don't get mad, get right. Don't get mad, get right. It just don't get mad, just get right. And that's important. That's very important. But I did lose my pastor of my childhood and my young adulthood yesterday, Dr. Frederick Casey Price. He is been an apostle after I left. And, deservingly so, because he planted several churches that I don't even think people knew about throughout the world, literally the world. Um, but he will always be Dr. Price to me. Both he and his wife, Doctors Fred and Betty, they will always be doctor to me. A very sweet, kind man. But it's amazing because you can be an awesome leader, but you can have a few people up under you that just don't get your vision 110%. And I think that's in any organization. But I will say this, he and his wife were always kind. His wife, here's something funny. I had to sing. His wife had me sing on one of their women's events way back in the day, obviously, because I've not lived in Southern California for at least, 17, 18 years. But a few years before I left, actually about 2 years before I left, I was a part of her women's, a women's event that she had. She had big singers in there. She had people like Helen Baylor, and she had, you know, just big names. And I was so astounded to be a part of those folks that she, invited to come and sing. She set me up at a hotel, just like when I would go visit other places, how they would set me up, how I would have a per diem, how I would do all this great stuff. And it would just take a load of stress off the family, because even though I was gone, the per diem helped me eat every day. Well, she did one better. I got the per diem, but she also made sure that we ate every day. Here's the deal. This lady would give my daughter, I brought my daughter with me to each day because it was a women's event. Every time she would see my daughter, oh, it's the baby, the baby who's now 29. But she said, oh, it's the baby. And let me give her some change. Child, I'm expecting to see like a handful of coins or maybe like $2. She gave that baby a 20. I'm like, you better give me that gas money. She goes, oh, it's the baby. And they were just sweet people. Dr. Betty's niece and I became very good friends. And it's a bittersweet feeling. I think that I think there's going to be something that's major that'll happen, especially with the awakening of people who he touched as close as he touched me in my personal life, as it relates to being my teacher there at, Ministry Training Institute in California. My chair, for whatever reason, was right in the center of the class, but right in front of his podium. And that happened by accident. So it was literally about 3 feet away from him. But it was by accident because I didn't know who the teacher of this class was. They didn't put the name, and none of us thought that it would be him, but it ended up being him that taught us the entire semester. But I had some exceptional teachers there to include him. He had the wisdom to put pastors on his staff that had specialty in specific areas. One taught us, we had one that dealt with specifically spiritual warfare. We had one that dealt with the biblical history. We had one that was off the chain who dealt with the communion and teaching about the blood. And so he was very wise in that. And one thing I liked about, Dr. Price was what you saw was what you got. But when you were in a different space, he wasn't talking. So if you were at church, of course, he got up and he spoke and he said what he had to say. But when we were in different settings, where like in the backstage or the back office type of setting, he wasn't a talker. You could see him thinking. And the funny thing is those of us who've been around him since we were little, it just felt like a little bit of that residual has come off on us. I can see him in me sometimes in my past, and even more recent, as ironic as it is, I would see that how he would come into a room and he would study the room. Well, even though I'm loquacious and even though I'm talkative, I think I got that from him, because we'll be in a big room together. And if I'm not meant to speak at that moment, you won't hear me. I'm more or less studying the room. Another thing is, a watchman should always watch. So even when we pray, we watch and we pray. So there was so many different things. And then, learning the Bible like I did, and learning the word of faith like I did, having that, just believing God to no end, just, I don't care what nobody says. I'm just going to believe him till I can't believe him no more. You know what I mean? I don't care what I see. I'm going to confess that I believe that I received what I asked for when I prayed. When I prayed, I'm going to believe that I received it. Why? Because the word of God says that. So that means that that word that you got, that message that you got, that this thing is in line with the will and the word of God, you may not see it today. It may be for a time off, but you must stand your post in faith. That spirit of tenacity, I know I gleaned from him. And I was just really happy to have been a part of the ministry there. And he's going to be sorely missed. And so I say bittersweet because you know where he is. Bittersweet because he's not here, and because of what he passed of with the whole COVID thing. I mean, I knew he had some pre-existing conditions, and he was 89. And so it's just a bittersweet type of thing, right? All right, so let's see. After church on Sunday, meals were the best. Yes, they were. I like the wings. I like fried chicken wings. So you get the whole chicken and you cut it up. The 2 wings belong to me. Yeah, I love wings. But that's what it reminds me when my former husband and I would travel when we lived military. We would have to join. We joined his church organization that he was a part of while we traveled, because that's what we could trust, right? So we were at that time Church of God in Christ, and we would have big potlucks every Sunday almost after church. And so it was like, all right, you know what you're cooking, you're going to make X, Y, and Z. You just take your whole meal and just add it to the table. And that's what we would do. Okay, Jeff says, I would bring the baked brie. Oh, with fresh jam and yummy crackers, and I would be sitting over there at your table. Hello, Iron Crane 2003, crockpot chili. For the crockpot, exactly. You can start cooking it for the potluck. You can start cooking it the night before. All day dinner and singing on the ground. Yes. Oh, you guys, those sweet things that we all took part in while in regular church. And then, like I said, for me to have been able to take part of it after I left California, because we didn't do that big time stuff, that home feeling stuff, until I went with my husband in like the 80s to go to Germany, and then to go to, where were we? We were in Germany, Church of God in Christ. We were in Missouri, Church of God in Christ. And then we were in Texas, Church of God in Christ, California, Church of God in Christ. So we got that old school Church of God in Christ. I don't know what they're doing right now, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on that look a little creepy. All right, let's see. Jeff's, that sounds so yummy. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry. Me too. Yes, I need some snacks now. Yes, you guys, we all need to just go get some snacks. I'll bring the canola. Oh, yes. Yes, I love that. Bring a cannoli cake. Huge. Yes, that would be delicious, Kathy. I'm so sorry, Felicia. My heart goes out to you. Well, it's all good. He was a good guy. He was a good dude. I'm telling you guys. I mean, talk about a pastor that was off the chain. When he got on us, he got on us. When he let us have it, he let us have it. I'd bring the pesto, sun-dried tomato, and goat cheese. Layered dip. Always a hit. Delish. Hey, everyone. Teresa. I watched Price for years and years. Yeah, he was off the chain. Dr. Price. Yes, yes, yes. I saw your video. Sorry to hear. He seemed like a wonderful, divine, towering soul. He did. And then he also had a lot of people who had a lot of negative things to say, because that's what happens, right? I mean, there are people who don't like me. You guys see that one thumbs down I get, but I'm just trying to do my best. And so I would imagine that if a person didn't know me personally, maybe they felt like, that there's, I think even if you know me personally and you have some nefarious goals, you're not going to like me, because I can peep it. And so there's a lot of people that are like that, so there's a lot of folks that don't care for him. There are a lot of people who don't care for the word of faith. But how can you believe in our Father if you do not have faith? Those who believe in him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. How can you believe in him without faith? Yeah, I think that what happened is, faith got a really bad, got a bad rap, because a lot of people did a lot of raggedy things with that teaching. Cream cheese and cranberry salsa is always a hit. My goodness, y'all coming up with some deliciousness. That's like comfort food. Whenever you put the word cheese in something that you know that you're about to eat, that's like comfort. Cream cheese with cranberry salsa is always a hit. That's one of the things I bring. Honey's brother told me he wants to bathe in it. It's so good. It sounds good. Doesn't that sound good? That's like, gee whiz, I want some of that right now. I think I'm going to try that. Can you heat that up with like some little cayenne peppers or something? Like the crystal, the little flaked ones? That would be good. That does sound good, right? Okay, Trade Price gave Fred Price, I believe you're saying, gave his message on loyalty that changed my life. Really was a good teacher, and that's what I loved about him was the teaching. When I got one, he just the teaching part of it is just off the chain. Okay, Love in the Midst, really yummy. Yes, yes, not your ordinary kind of thing. Oh, my favorite person on my Sunday school teacher was Miss Mary. Was my Sunday school teacher, Miss Mary. Then I got older and helped this elder lady, and her name was Miss Mary. I thought God say that she needed another Ms. Mary in her life. Oh, how sweet is that? Freedom Farms, hey folk, hope all is well. We are finally getting the crazy weather here in New Mexico. Snowflakes are falling and thunderstorms simultaneously. Ooh, Freedom Farms, stay warm. That's amazing to hear, Kathy. All right, Love in the Midst. Claim the blessing. Well, you know what? It's more so just trusting God, right? Claiming the blessing and just believing him at his word, taking him at his word. Now, you can't pray no crazy stuff, y'all. If you're praying and you're praying in accordance to his word, it's going to come true, right? It's got to. So you just believe. Okay, Jen, my mom would put pepper jelly over cream cheese with crackers. See, I was just saying something about heat. Yes. For a healthier AI, please hit the like button and subscribe. All right, you guys, we're going to get right into some of the videos for tonight's Saturday Night is Live. Tonight, we are going to deal specifically with some of the things that happened just recently. I'm going to talk about the Lunar New Year. I don't know how many of you guys got to see that, but the Lunar New Year was a trip. There in China, they had the Lunar New Year opening ceremony, and some people got a little uncomfortable because of some of the stuff that went on with it. And I did too. And we're also going to take a look at, and again, we're all in line with Black history because I'm going to sew it all up together. I'm going to bring it all together for you. And so I think the first thing I want to do is, let's go on ahead and start that. I'm going to take this off. I want to start that, you guys. Just take a look at this. And you hear it. Chinese TV's Lunar New Year Gala features blackface performers. Chinese state TV included dancers in blackface portraying Africans during a national broadcast as Asia welcomed its Lunar New Year of the Ox Friday with subdued festivities amid travel curbs to contain renewed coronavirus outbreaks. The African song and dance performers came at the start of the Spring Festival Gala, or Xinhuan, one of the world's most watched TV programs. It included Chinese dancers in African-style costumes and dark-face makeup beating drums. The 5-hour annual program, which the state TV has said in the past is viewed by as many as 800 million people, also included tributes to nurses, doctors, and others who fought the coronavirus pandemic that began in central China in late 2019. Chinese ruling Communist Party tries to promote an image of unity with African nations as fellow developing economies, but state broadcaster China Central Television has faced criticism over using blackface to depict African people in previous New Year broadcasts. On Twitter, Black Levity China, a group of people of African descent who work in or with China, called the broadcast, quote, extremely disappointing, end quote. It noted CCTV's 2018 Spring Festival Gala, which featured performers in blackface with a monkey. They said, quote, we cannot stress enough the impact scenes like this have on the African or African diasporic communities living in China, the group said. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective. Okay, so remember the other day when we were talking about the whole monkey or the gorilla thing? You guys remember that? I'm not sure if you all remember that, but we were talking about that, and we were saying how it appears that it was going to possibly be something else. Yes, the year of the ox, most assuredly. And so I'm thinking, they did it also. If you saw the end where there was the woman in the whole blackface and she was talking to the younger girl and they were talking about, oh, I love China. I just love China. I'm not sure. Yeah. See, there's something that's up, you guys. And to Sandy's point, they do talk a lot in code. They talk a lot in code. And so I don't know exactly what's up or what their plans are, but I do know that they're not wholesome. I do. And I'm going to be very candid and very honest with you because I believe, and I could be wrong, and this is just what I think. I believe that we are owned completely by them and more so than we ever know. I think we all may over the past several years say things like, oh, yeah, they own us. They got us. They got us. But I do believe that there's some truth to that because everything from our internet, from our everything. And I'm not sure if you guys remember the Smithfield Foods video that I had done back last year, where I basically said, taking the food from your enemy, how to be careful. Um, but almost all of the food that we eat, from everything from different chicken, from, even Nathan's hot dogs, all of those things were owned at one point or another by Smithfield Foods. Also, just recently, I'm not sure if anybody saw the whole situation that went on with the Cracker Barrel, but they own them too. That was on the video that I did last year. And so when you consider all of that, you have to know that there is something afoot, as we always say here on the Lockhart Perspective. Something is not right. Something is not right. And so I believe that we are. And so I think that they're dropping subliminal messages because they already think, first off, they've always wanted us, right? We are the newest of the big bad bunch. And they have been around for centuries, right? And so I think as a country, yes, but I think as a people, even more, because I look at what they're doing into the whole Africa thing is just off the chain. I heard somebody about 2 or 3 years ago make a comment with regards to all of the highways that they were putting in different parts of Africa, different countries in Africa, and how happy they were that they were there. And I'm sitting here looking like, you idiots, you got to be joking. You guys have been basically sold off. Now you have somebody coming in to put in roads. You think that's for you? That ain't for you. That's for them. And I think they really showed themselves last year after everybody came out of their quarantine there in China. And what happened? The first people they went after were the individuals who were visiting there on visas for education or living there for whatever reason. And they wanted them to all get out of the houses that they lived in. Now, that's a fact that nobody can doubt, right? So there's something to it. There's definitely something to it. I don't know, who's paying who or who's paying what, but I think that we, as a whole, have a problem. And I think that this China piece is more so, yes, it was deplorable and disgusting what they did with the blackface. Yes, it definitely was. But I think that more than that, that was for America. Follow me on this one. The whole entire taking over us, that's a whole thing. That's the whole deal. But the black part is something for us as black folks to wake up and look at, because they've been purchased, but they gave the money to somebody in government here. And some of the things that are going on in government are done specifically to get rid of us, whether it be, fund more Planned Parenthood, which, by the way, the previous president did do a lot of Planned Parenthood funding. He did. I don't know if they just used his face and his ink pen or what, but he did. So you cannot avoid that. You can't avoid the truth. But I just think that something ain't right. Don't know what it is, but something ain't right. That's right. Something ain't right. So now the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that, we support as black people here. We're talking about Black history, right? Throughout Black history, we have supported a great deal of individuals who mean us no well, who mean us no good. They mean us absolutely no good. None whatsoever. And we support them all the time. I marveled at how everybody was so in love with the woman who wanted to run last year, in 2016, who was running, how everybody was so in love. They were so enamored of her. And I was like, gee whiz, are you kidding me right now? I don't understand this. Haven't you guys didn't y'all keep up with the memo? Didn't you see who she said her mentor was? I guess they didn't see who the mentor was. But nobody saw who she said was her mentor. Nobody. And that sort of bothered me. That really bothered me. I didn't read your message. Your message, Black Spring, said, "Thank you for keeping A Saturday Night is Live blessing flowing." Ah, that's so sweet. So yeah, so I was a little troubled behind the fact that a lot of people sort of wanted to run behind Hillary, and they didn't understand that this lady don't like you. She carried a bottle of hot sauce in her pocket, and she did that to appease you, and you like her. You would actually hang out with somebody who did that? Okay, no problem. So this again is Black history. So what I'm about to show you right now is dealing specifically with who she professed to be one of her mentors, a person that she admired so very much. So here you go. Her face, but little did most folks know that this Planned Parenthood founder, I'm going to start it back over here. One who I like this new thing that they have here with StreamYard. I like it. So let's go. That you could trust if you looked in her face, but little did most folks know. Y'all know. Her I'm gonna laugh like Muttley tonight. When you look at her, Margaret Sanger had a very doty outside. Her appearance and her exterior appeared to be somebody who would be almost benign, someone that you could trust if you looked in her face. But little did most folks know that this Planned Parenthood founder was one who considered Orientals, Jews, and blacks as human weeds. She was known to have said, "They are human weeds, reckless breeders, spawning human beings who never should have been born." That was Margaret Sanger, and that's why she was the founder of Planned Parenthood. Over the many years, she would enlist help of women from all different financial backgrounds, empowering them with this knowledge of helping to keep the races pure and to prevent others from being born. The funny thing about Margaret Sanger was that she did utilize the help of pastors, and she made sure that they went back and told their black parishioners that they should not have any more children, and if they did, they should make sure they went to Planned Parenthood to end it all. They have now removed her name from their organization, but that's only to fool the masses to come, because she still has the support of those that she once desired to destroy. Look, right there in the middle, you'll see somebody who hailed her as their mentor, and I do believe she was. But the amazing thing is if that woman ran again today, all of the people that Sanger attempted to exterminate and eliminate would run right out and vote for her. Yep, Stockholm Syndrome within the black community is still well alive. For Black History Month, this is Felicia Lockhart. And so that's my opinion of the whole thing. You know, I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but last year, the Planned Parenthood organization voted to remove her name from their organization, citing the fact that they believed that she had a lot of negative connotations to her because of her, quote, beliefs. And it was her beliefs that actually formed the organization. So now that we're looking at that, I want to use as a juxtaposition the video that my friend used the other night. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but to Black Spring with Autumn's point, I I don't know if you guys saw it. For those, I know there were several of us in here, but it was like a hip hop video to try to get everybody that looked like, Run DMC to go out and just get a candy bar or two. Get one candy bar and then 21 days later get another candy bar. And so that is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this mindset that Ozam Alice just said here. The last word, that mindset is being used, but it's being touted as this is good for you. We need this for you. We care about you. And that's dangerous. The rant that I had a couple of weeks ago, I know it led a lot of people saying, what is wrong with Felicia? Well, it was because I had conversation after conversation with folks that knew, hey, that's not good. You guys are the main ones that run around, shouting the stuff's not good. Don't you wonder? On all of America, these things are being pushed. All of Americans, this stuff is being pushed. No one seems to ask a question. Why? Why? Now, not only that, did you guys just see recently off of Black History? I was about to say Black Friday, off of Black History just a little, but did you guys just see recently Nancy Morganheart of Headlines with a Voice, put up a video, and that video had it had the 6 month olds that they're going to start to do a testing on 6 month olds. As young as 6 month old, they need a focus group of volunteers. A focus group of volunteers. Can you believe that? Wolf in sheep's clothing, Ozamala said, and said, of course, Hillary did. Gates family also has a strong ties with Planned Parenthood. Yes, indeed. And so that's what I want to say to everybody is, okay, all these people that are running around here telling me in my personal life, it's okay. Oh, you're always this or you're always that. Really? Really? You know what I'm saying? This is amazing. Now, Jermaine G, what is all lies? What's all lies? What she said or how she's behaving herself? I've never seen you here, but hello, Jermaine G. Yeah, so it's all lies. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so Kathy says, I will never forget the day I laid eyes on that lady in a hallway, and never, it was a long time ago. You saw that lady. You. Hello, Black Spring with Autumn. How are you? It's so good to see you.
Hi, Felicia and the chat.
Thank you
Nice to
so
see you all.
much for that wonderful chat. That what do they call them? Super chats. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just figured out how that whole thing works. Actually, I just figured it out from reading all the stuff. I saw a couple of videos, but it just dawned on me how come it was taking so long. And they put you through so many hoops, but then once you get through the last hoop, which I did yesterday. Once you get through that final hoop, then it's all good. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Ozamala says that was what I was telling my friend. He just realized I wasn't trying to be mean. I was warning him that there's literature to line up with people. Literature line people up based on race, red flag, and warning. Yes. Yes. You warned your friend. Good for you. Good for you. Somebody says, hi. It's Angela Reed said, hi, Black Spring with Autumn. And then Freedom Farm says, Miss Lockhart, you the bomb. Been enjoying your shows. I will set up an account on JTube to donate to you. God bless you. I so appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now, Black Spring, you did something the other day, and you brought us this video. And I'm going to tell you, that video really did infuriate me. It really infuriated you, but it infuriated me to the point of laughter because I was like, are you kidding me? So this is how you're going to help with Black History Month. Frankly, what do you think about the topic I said originally, that we really don't need a Black History Month? I don't think we need a whole month. I think it should just be American history, sharpening everything with our country, getting us, the way that we're supposed to be, the way that we were, the way that we were founded to be, and not all of this divisiveness. In so much as they're attempting to show unity, they're dividing us. And so there's even now on the 5th of March, I believe it is. I think it's early part of March, Woman History Month. I'm like, oh my God, when will it ever stop? I'll tell you when it's going to stop, when we stop supporting that stuff. But what do you say?
Well, I'm of the thought that it's a way of I don't agree with the celebration of a Black History Month, and I share the same view in which this is an American history, and how can it be relegated to 28 days? I mean, can you pack that much history into 28 days? But I also think it's a part of an exclusion or a disenfranchisement. The further they keep, blacks in the mindset that they're not really American, that your path to Americanism, it will never quite be there. It's hyphen, the exclusion American. It's you're less of an American because you have this handle on the front, and so is your history. To me, it's another way of marginalizing and reminding Black people you haven't made it in their to their agenda for their purposes, for the progressives or for the liberals. They need to create a narrative, and that narrative will never be a narrative of unity. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It will
Mm-hmm.
never be an American. Their agenda is rarely ever unity, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also, instead of progressive, they're regressing. I think there's a
Mm-hmm.
regressive agenda for the whole country right now. I
I
do
agree.
I do believe that we're also going back. A segregationist state is what
Yep.
everybody, I don't know, it seems that's what they're advocating for.
Mm-hmm.
The more you separate people, and the more hate and the more divisive you are, you'll never have a unified, we'll never be as mighty as we can be if we're all individually, if there's all these enclaves of chocolates in the box,
Yeah, I
for
agree.
lack of a better word.
Well, Jermaine G says, you speak the truth about Black history. They gave us our all lives. Now, to his point, yes, I agree. I think that there has been a problem with the history that we've learned. And they always say that the victor, the person who won, basically gets the right to write the history or does write the history. And so there's a lot of stuff that, if they really want to, show some truth, then show the whole truth, unveil all of it and show everything. And I'm not talking about people coming on ships. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the truth. Okay. All right. Like I said, my family did not come here on ships. I do have some friends who are from North and South Carolina, some friends who are from Virginia. Their relatives are definitely from Africa, but my relatives are not. None of them. None of them. They are all from the bayou and all from the delta, all in that area. That's where we are from, with Cherokee Indian and Creek. And so for me, it just bugs me that, just let us alone. We're American, period. We are American. Now, yes, there are some people out there who, like you just said, want to keep the divisiveness going, and it's because it serves a purpose. You feel me? It serves a purpose for them to continue it to go, because as long as you feel like you are the underdog, you feel like somebody owes you something, that's how your mindset going to stay. You're going to always be in this thing of need, where everybody beat us up. They just beat us up, and we just need you to give us our stimulus. We need you to give us this and that. I still ain't got the last thing that they sent out, right? And you and I both know I raised the grandsons. I raised the boys. And so, yeah, if anybody would need it, sure, I would. But I'm not going to sit up here and make sure you let me have it, let me have it, let me have it. No, you go ahead and keep it as long as you want it. But the point I'm making is they continue to create victims. And by creating victims, those who fall under victimhood will remain that way. And they will lock, stock, and barrel choke down every single candy bar that's ever given to them, because somebody perused them and schmoozed them to make them think they were on their side when they want them to do nothing but disappear. That's exactly what I think. Freedom Farms, you showing out tonight. You are showing out. Thank you so much for that. I so appreciate you. That's a blessing, a blessing, a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Steve Willis is in the house. He said, preach. Please preach, Black Spring. Same for Indigenous Alaskans. That's right. And I do believe that this whole Black History Month, I really wish that we could abolish that. I hate that they ever started it, because when you first start out saying, well, let me get my rights, let me have this. Here's the funny thing, and let's just remove it from Black. Let's just take it to victimhood. Follow me down that lane. Black Spring trip. Every single person that the powers that be have tried to push to be the victim, there's been nothing but calamity and separatistness, even in the home. Even in the home, when they made the woman the victim, then she bucked against the husband. Look, things was going just right when mama had her rump at the house. I don't know you know what I'm saying? Things was just fine for my mindset. Things were fine. But when you start to take the husband against the wife, you start to break that up. Now you got the children against the parents. And now you got the this and the, and so let's just say this. We already know that, yes, there have been forms of divisiveness, and it doesn't matter where you're from. There will always be, and there always has been. My point is that when you start to bring about the change and the showing the differences and seeing how one person is subservient to the other and then bringing the facts to that. Do you go around and say that to the cat that only gets to kick a couple of times at the football game? No, you don't. Why? Because that's his position. Yo, move that boy out of the line. He is not going to play defensive tackle. Move him out of the way. Okay? He's too small, first off. You see what I'm saying? And second of all, that's not his position. So all of us have the problem because they started with getting the man out of the way, then separating the wife and moving her out into the workforce. Now the children got to go over here to be taught. Now you got, everybody is out of order. The whole thing's out of order because they've created victims out of people who knew their position from jump. Knew their position from jump. I did that video a while back about the woman, the black woman that says, I'm an independent black woman and I don't need no man. You a liar. You a liar. You know you need a man. And then for those of us out there who may think that they got one that ain't the best one, you better hold on to the one you got and try to sew that cat together. You better try to sew that cat together. Keep your family together. You sure enough better. That whole thing about just throw them away and get another one. How many times can you do that in a lifetime, sister? Stuff start going hanging down south. Now you're in competition with a whole bunch of perky stuff. Save me from myself, Black Spring. Save me from myself.
Oh, wow. Well, I think that, we kind of talk about, we've talked about this before. I think many of the things that you're describing were, some of these things I think were installed or they began to arise in like the 60s and where the progressives, they were literally removing by law, you could legally go after someone for asking, was there a man in the house? If a black woman in the 60s, from what I understand, if she were even asked if there was a man in the house when an application came up for some form of welfare or some type of government subsidy, maybe one of the law centers, they could step in and they could actually sue the government for asking that woman if there was a man in the house. So they did a number, I think, in the 60s. What was the Coward Piven structure? That was a part of the plan, part of the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right on with the separation, and it's just been what they've done. I think it's brilliant. It's sick and it's brilliant at the same time.
Diabolical. Like, somebody said diabolical.
Yes, they have masterfully managed to not only exploit the plight. They want you to you use your plight to fight your plight, but at the same time, that plight is the same fight is going to keep you down. They're the authors. They wrote the book on how to fight, and they're going to win in two ways. As they say, kill two birds with one stone. Mm-hmm. Is what they're masterfully doing. Mm-hmm. And but I don't know what it's going to take. But in this way, you always have an appeal. Your struggle never goes away because it's by design.
And that's the problem, is that they have, but see, here's the deal. Now it's twofold. I don't know if it happened or not, but did they finally allow all 25,000 of those individuals to come through that border down there in California? Did they finally allow them through? I know that they were right there at the border.
I am not exactly sure.
I got frustrated.
I've been trying to, I think I've heard more from Texas. I think on the Texas side, I will tell you on the California side, there's all the rage about Newsom being closer to getting, under 100,000 signatures. But I mean, we've been there before. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then it gets thrown out on a technicality. Oh, well, it wasn't on a 10 by sheet of paper. Oh, sorry. No chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reason why I was asking specifically about, them coming through, because I didn't know, I'm so disgusted with the whole thing, with the whole undoing America is really what this is. This is not about undoing what the last cat did. This is about the undoing. This is our undoing. And so for
Yes.
me to hear that, he was like, okay, you guys go ahead, do what you got to do. Just let them all in. Just let them all in. The reason why I was saying that was because forever, we have been the other side, right? But now we don't understand that they don't need you anymore. Everybody's going to be caramel colored. I keep saying that. I keep feeling like everybody is going to be caramel colored. And I'm looking at me on the screen and I'm sort of caramel, but I don't mean my shade of caramel. I mean lighter caramel. I mean light caramel with the blue eyes, because it is by design, to use your phrase. It is by design. Because that they won't need us. They will not need us. They will go on ahead and eliminate as many as possible. One important thing that I want to say, everybody is asking, well, how can this be about sterilization? Well, it's not about the older people that get it. The older people that get it, if you don't, fall out and leave here, then we'll know how to find you, because we will have put something there to be able to do that. Now, you guys can argue that, and I respect your argument if that's what you choose. But it's really for the generations to come. And Ronnie Mann made a very good point about that. You and I sat there together and we watched Utopia. We brought Utopia back. We talked about Utopia. In a nutshell, this is that, because it's all about the sterilization of the people to come on a massive scale, right? But
Yes.
but God, enter our Father, enter our Father, who can do all and has done all that he needed to do to warn us about all that we're dealing with right now. But that's my only issue with the whole black thing, is that once they're done using whomever they had to use to push through what they needed to do, leave Desi, hey, then they're going to throw them to the side and keep it pushing. That's why I kept saying that if you keep your eye on those borders, you will understand that there's several reasons why they want those open. One, I'm not going to even talk about here because it's just disgusting. And I don't know, it breaks my heart. But the other is obviously to bring in the competition. Because once you bring in the competition, you don't need those other cats that was sitting up there acting like now they got a few degrees. You don't need them, but nobody sees that. And the very people that the black people, this is Black history, the very same people that we pushed collectively, I don't say me personally because I didn't vote this last time and I won't ever vote again. We pushed as black folks to push these individuals in there. And now, are you happy now? Are you happy now? Not yet. You're not happy? Okay, go ahead on with that ink pen, sir. Keep going. Keep going. What I told you the other day is what I can't wait to see. And that is, since he's in the habit of undoing everything that was redone, that was already done, I want to see what happens with the $250 million that was given to the HBCUs. Are you going to stop that? And if he does that, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You look, I got some popcorn and some strawberry soda water waiting for that day. Go ahead, Black Spring.
Well, that's it. To that end, I've been curious about where that is also, in terms of where that funding is, because in his own words, and I'm going to paraphrase this, he said that he, in that meeting that he had with these activists that they refer to as our leaders, as I have an issue, they're always picking our leaders for us. They're always picking them for us, okay? Representing us for us. And he said, well, I'm going to undo everything that guy did. Well, that would include that funding, right? So now you'll end up back, now the HBCUs will end up like the 1920s, back at the bank with their hat in their hand, asking for their annual funding. However, I did see in one of the plans, or one of the bills, I think that's on the floor. Right. I heard there was only maybe one HBCU that was probably going to continue to receive that funding, as well as the second school that's going to replace that would actually be a school for the disabled. So you've got a school of students with disabilities, and then you had another. You can probably guess what that other university, who's an alumni of the other HBCU that's going to survive.
Okay, tell us.
Howard
Oh,
University.
Howard. Okay, okay,
Howard
okay.
and
Wow.
yes, the other name of the university, I can't think of it. It's kind of it sounds like a French name of the school.
So
But yeah,
basically, where the former president gave all of the HBCUs this $250 million endowment, basically, or monies, they're only going to shift that to a couple of schools now.
yeah, that's from what I could see. Now that's what I saw right away.
Oh
I
boy.
noticed I didn't see the name. I didn't see a Morris Brown or a Jackson State or a
But they were
Alcorn.
in the original one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they were in the original one,
Wow.
and I know that some of the HBCUs have received more technological devices than I think they've ever had. In fact, but I cringe to know what's behind that, because they can't. Some of the students can't even describe to me what exactly those are for. There's like this huge machine that just basically just kind of scans as they come in. Now this has been since the CV-19 has been happening.
Wow.
So like I said, I'm really concerned. I'm concerned about the HBCUs. I think that they're turning it to labs, if you, for
They
the
are
lack of
labs.
a better.
I like that. I like that. I agree. I like that term, labs.
Yeah, I really am, and I really hate to see that, because I'm sure either we all have some connection, or whether direct or indirect, where when it comes to the universities. I mean, and the thing is, there are other people, other backgrounds or races of people that actually go to HBCUs.
And that was my point when we chatted about this one time before. And that was that I saw a group of girls who were being sent home for a holiday here in Alabama, when the group, and they were far away, somewhere as close as Georgia or Tennessee, or, the very far ends of Alabama, who were being sent home during holiday, even though they had the apartment for school purposes. They were being sent home, but other girls of other ethnicities were being allowed to stay because they may be from another state as well. That to me is what I was saying about, why have the divisiveness? If one set of girls can stay and they don't live, 50 miles out or whatever, frankly, let them all stay. I could not understand why anybody had to go home. I'd never heard of that before in my life. But again, like I said, the last time we chatted about this, I went to school a long time ago. You know what I mean? Long, long time ago. And so maybe this is just something that's always went on and I just never noticed it. But I don't understand why. That's what gets me, is that there's the argument of this whole freedom crap and all this, equality stuff. And then you guys don't even see the stuff that ain't equal. Let it be fair for everybody, because if they can single out one group of folks, that's going to single you out, stupid. You see what I mean? So it's like, no, let everybody stay. And why aren't the
Absolutely.
parents arguing about that? Why isn't anybody picking that gauntlet up and running with it? You know what I mean? It's like, why are we not? It's like, oh God, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. It's like the Chitlin circuit mindset. It's like, this is the only thing that we know. And I hate to say the watermelon chicken mindset, but that's exactly what it is. This is what they give us. This is what they give us. They give us this. And because this is what they give us, this is what we're used to, and it's okay. But we're going to keep fighting for more things like childcare. Childcare, sit your rump at home. By the time you give some stranger $150 to $175 a week times 4, how much more, sister girl, are you making when your husband's out there trying to compete with you? Sit your rump to the house. Clean your baseboards. Clean your window seals. Yeah, window seals. Get those cobwebs out of the corner. Get them out. Sit down. Stay in your place. That's the problem. That's the problem. And that's what makes me upset. The fact that we don't see what it is. And we're running around with this whole equality thing. You got all these dum-dums running around, black women, and it just bugs me. And I've got to say it. You know what? If I'm wrong, God forgive me, but this is just my personal opinion. I hate to see how they are all running around with this whole thing about, I got my degree. I don't need nothing else. I don't need no man. I don't need this. I got my job. He don't make enough for me. He don't this and that. And then you become 45 years old. I got my job. I got my house. I got my car. I don't need no kids. I don't need no man. And he don't make enough for me. Now you 55 sitting around looking like Willie Foo, twiddling your thumbs, wondering why you are not doing anything on a Saturday night. Why you don't even have a honey bunch to snuggle up and watch the reruns of Maddox with? You can't even watch the old reruns of anything. You can't sit down and watch the monsters. You can't sit down and do nothing with nobody because you done ran everybody away by putting them up against this litmus test that you made in your mind that a man is. You done turn a man into a woman. Most of us, most women tell me, oh, well, he's not sensitive enough. He better not be if he gonna rock it with me. He better be able to think straight. You're going to be with me. You can't be sensitive. No, leave that to me. I will step back here and be the lady, and you go ahead and do your thing. I don't have to let you be. You simply are. And if I am a woman, I should understand that there is a kingship in a man automatically, especially if he is a man that has surrendered himself to the Most High. If it is a man who has surrendered himself to the Most High, silly black women, sit down and let that man talk to the Father. Let him get leadership. Let him get information from the Father. This is Black History Month. This is what this is. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women, especially within the Black community, getting in line and getting where they're supposed to be. Because I'm going to tell you something. What y'all been doing the last handful of years, it ain't been working. Or shall I say, how's that working for you? How about that? How about that? That part. All right, so let's see. We've got some stuff in here. Who's dude? Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, and happy birthday to mom. Let's see. Good evening, all. My mom is 1 year older, so I've been wishing her well. I thank God for her and my pop. Wish more had parents available when they were children. World would be different. Love you all. Love you too, Leaf Desi. Happy birthday to mom. That's right. Yes, blessings. Okay, opening the borders is to take the jobs from the American people, jobs and bankrupt our people's jobs and bankrupt our system with a flood of applications and needs, which they are getting as soon as they come across the border. They're getting Social Security for those who can't make it. For those who they're getting money already. If not, who votes, but who counts the votes? It's not who votes, but who counts the votes. I'm trying to look at this out of my bottom part of my glasses. It's not who the people choose, but who the people in office select. Yeah, you're right. I think our system is beyond bankrupt already. Yeah, I do, in so many different fashions, so many different facets. No, he did not, Sandy. He did not, and neither did the exiting cat, who should have done that. If it was me, I would have been like, okay, y'all don't like me anyway. Here you go. Boom. Now, y'all put it back on there and explain to everybody why you had to do it. Explain to everybody why you did it. I'm going to take it off. Now you go ahead and put it back on. Yeah. All right, let's see. I've been wanting to make school of, is that permaculture? For those needing a network. That would be nice. All right. Do you see how Biden talked to the civil rights people? He said that they have to get used to the Spanish. He said the Mexicans, they will have to, they'll have to take over it. Yeah, they have to get used to it. Yeah, because that's his plan. I heard today masks need to be worn for 7 more years. Wow. No, it ain't, because I'm on that. I'm already praying about that. You watch and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know I was told to pray, and I've been praying on that specific thing. We are going back to Jim Crow. It's like we're going back to Jim Crow laws again. Yeah, you're right. And the people who are being dubbed, the problem is the people who don't want to wear the mask. You watch. Dude, are you married, sis? Do you want to be? Preach it, girl. Okay. Let's see. Do you want to be? Who are you talking about? Dude, are you married, sis? Oh, I get it. Do you want to be? Well, if you want to be, let the brother do his thing. That's what I got to say. A man comes with a lot. And if you know how to if you know how to stand through a lot of the crap that people just think culturally is okay, you got to stand these days. And I'm telling you the honest truth. Sometimes these days you better stand. And if you don't know how to stand, please don't say I do. Because as soon as you say I do, you will be challenged. Trust and believe me. Okay? That sounds like my aunt. Those self righteous women are everywhere. And she wonder why she the lady with 10 cats and no man. Yeah, she wondering why she the lady with 10 cats and no man, because ain't no man gonna sit around and listen to that crap all day. You can be as strong as you want in your position when you're, wherever you are, whatever it is that you do, but you definitely can't take the type of strength that I even speak with to your spouse. You cannot even take this type, the way that I speak while I'm sharing, or the way that I speak when I'm ministering or I'm preaching or whatever. You can't even take that tone with your spouse. No, you can't. You better pull up some babies, honeys. You better get submissive someplace, or you gonna be the lady with the cats. You're gonna be the lady with the cats. This is what happens when you remove God from everything. Most assuredly, Angela Reed. Most assuredly. Yeah, you're right. Praying on that specific thing is so serious. Covering up that face. Yes, your face is terrible. I had a dream about making a mask. I still have never understood why I've had such a dream. If it was beforehand, maybe that's why. I got it all. Cats and a man. Oh, right. Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead. You see that? Black Spring, she said she got it all. Cats and a man. Cats and a man. Now
There you
have
go.
that. Have that. I have had similar thoughts. Yeah. Well, in my impression, this thing right here is the roof is gonna come up off of that. You remember that old song, Tear the Roof Off the Mother? That's what I'm praying about. Tear the whole thing off. Tear it all off. So what do you have with regards to that video that you shared with us the other night? Now I know we did a little looking to see who that person was that was spearheading the whole thing. Um, what else can you tell us about the other additional videos that was with that? What can you tell us, Black Spring?
Well, the additional videos, they seem to be trying to, I mean, of course, they're trying to convince those who are a part of, who are submitting, who are subscribing, if you will, for the lack of a better word, to their advice. I mean, the second part of it is actually, are the vaccines safe, and how do I know this? That's the second part. And the first video was, what are the vaccines and why do they work? And it's going to be followed up by what I mentioned, are the vaccines safe and how do I know this? And I bet there's tons of there's propaganda all over it. And of course, I think that those organizations, or that's more of a coalition in my mind. It's more of an NGO or coalition of people that are working with the government, or at least working with the state of New York, which I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see those campaigns all over the country. For how long, when is, I guess, is the question. But what I can tell is that they're using, the celeb factor. In fact, this hip hop, public health, they're all under an umbrella that I think even included Michelle Obama's program, her nutrition program. So just about anything that's been related to health, the people of New York have had this type of resource, for the lack of a better word. And they've targeted, to me, pretty much the communities of color, if you will. So this next video, I have not watched the next video, but I'm wondering why they are launching it in such a breakdown. I guess that's a stereotype. I guess it takes our smooth brains, we need 5 segments for our smooth brains to absorb the propaganda.
Now
I
explain
guess
that comment, because a lot of people may not get that.
the smooth brain. Well, I mean, we've heard the rhetoric. We've heard it from, the current administration, that, we were that as POCs, we are less diverse in thought, and I would imagine the same in processes as well. We are less diverse in thought, and our diversity in even processing, and our speed may not even be, you know, as quick as uh the as he mentioned, the Latino community.
Oh, you
We're
mean
all
our
being
physical speed? Wait a minute. Whoa, wait
no,
a
I
minute.
mean, no. I'm talking cognitive. I'm talking cognitive
Oh,
and
okay.
our yeah, our cognitive process and our aptitude, if you will, to absorb, the bare bones of a mocktail. Let me get it, of a mocktail.
Well, I
And
go ahead. I'm going to say hi because I see Anthony Van Zandt has joined us. Thank you so much for coming in, sir. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, go.
okay, yeah. So, and then they're also saying, of course, that the videos are going to be distributed across multiple social media channels in collaboration with, guess what? They're going to bring them into faith-based organizations. So, of course, you need the kratos you need all that credibility coming out of your faith-based organizations,
Hmm.
your community media outlets, and it's even going to be on national and local radio platforms. So they're going to reach a lot of people, whether they're smooth brain or not. And I've seen people jumping in line. Not a bread line, but a mocktail line.
Wow.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine that? We got a mocktail pantry instead of a bread pantry. You
Mm.
know, it's utopia. We just go
Mm-hmm.
back to utopia.
Mm-hmm.
People are literally begging and, oh, thanking God, thank God. Oh, I got this opportunity.
No,
Oh,
she's really serious. There are people that we both collectively know. I mean, that's what I think you guys, a lot of times we're not able to convey that this is what we're hearing in our own community. Those who state they have education and they are intellectuals and they know. They know. Yeah. Okay. Stuff. Oh, go ahead. Let me shut up.
oh, no, no. So yeah, I was yeah, so they're going to, and I told you once before, when the HR 6666, if that's not enough sixes for you, that they were basically targeting these community centers, including the churches. That's one way. Now, I'm going to say this about DT. If you guys don't know who DT is, it seemed that he was lifting some of those,
Mr. T.
Mr. T. He was lifting some of those kind of restrictions, I think, that were there, in which the ministers, there was even a law that they weren't even to really talk about. Was it the Johnson Act? Maybe, I don't want to
Mm,
misquote it.
I
It was
think
the
you might be
Johnson,
right. I think you might be right.
where the ministers were not really, you know, allowed to speak about issues like this because they were
Mhm.
afraid of losing whatever their
501c3
501c.
status, which is
Yes.
nothing. And Ronnie Mann made a good point about that the other night. And he said, you really don't even need that status because you have that ability because you're divided between church and state anyway. You don't need it. That was his opinion and impression. But yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, so that status, so even for the contact tracing, that they were going to set up centers, because I mean, can you think of an industry or a sector of our economy that hasn't been affected by the CB-19? I mean, do I think that the black
Walmart.
church will turn down is going to turn down some subsidy or money from the government to contribute to their efforts or their agenda to
No.
contact trace,
Mm-mm.
or to even provide propaganda that says, even look at when, we were watching that video the other night, and even the percentage of the effectiveness, that narrative is constantly changing. It's changing as much as how many masks they're telling people to wear.
Which is absolutely insane. That is insanity. And it's at the point now where I know that yeah, y'all probably gonna have to come get me because I'm about to have it. Just let me just say this. I think the stupidity that people are pushing this without thinking with their own brains is amazing to me. Ozam Alice says, talking about Black history, they don't talk about the experiments on Black women, which was heartbreaking. Let me tell you about some of those experiments that she is speaking of, if people don't know. Back in the day when they were first creating things like speculums, is that what that is? That goes when we have a pap smear, I believe it's called a speculum.
Yeah, that
They
thing.
they created a speculum made in different fashions before the one that you see now. That was all tested on several Black women, the ones who lived to tell the story, but there were women who did not. They were tested without anesthesia. Some of them were in the form of a contraption that would open the person and would damage the hips and would damage the internal organs. And so that was one of them. And there were several others. And so when you start to talk about those types of things, I think that the information should be shared with everyone. And those are the types of things. If you want to talk about American history, talk about American history as a whole. And then you will find that there were several things done, not just to us, but they were those things were quite atrocious, without question. But you will find that there are several other people who have experienced some terrible things. But because some of us only know our part of our history and some people only know other parts of the history, it prevents us from seeing who we really, as a whole, who the country is. It prevents us from knowing, because you can't have a business without understanding the history of the business. You cannot have any organization without knowing who the founder was and what their belief system was and what it was that they did. And so whether it be, what they've done let me tell you something. There were poor whites in the South that were treated like dogs. And I don't know whether a lot of people know that or not. You see what I'm saying? So it goes across the board. Tell the whole truth. Don't just break history up in sections. Don't do that. Tell the whole truth, and we'll understand why we have the issues that we have and why we are so easily moved and motivated by fear, and why people play on our sympathy of all of our ethnicities. But again, this is Black History. You guys, we're coming up on 1 hour and 22 minutes. We're going to be getting out and closing out here in just a few. I'm going to go ahead and let Black Spring continue up with some of the things that she says. One guy that I don't see here tonight is Ronnie Mann. He's probably at work or having a good time with his honey bunch. Either way, if he's listening, we want to tell you blessings, sir. We're thinking of you. Go ahead, Black Spring.
Well, I guess what I'm going to, digress to would be just a matter of, they just keep driving the plight of the plight of blacks home. And, during the CV, they've talked about how the heaviest of the burden has been on the communities of color. And but they never put that piece in, that piece of the communities of color that deals specifically with what can I say, for the lack of a better word, pre-existing conditions. They don't talk about those things that we are inherently affected by, or whether it's hereditary or not. They're not talking about the risk of obesity, or heart disease, or diabetes, and how these things have affected that. But they just continue to drive home, they need to stop this thing in its tracks. And they need to increase the literacy. But I find it there for them to be there. I think that they're pretty late on providing literacy, because how long has this been going on? We're coming up on a year, ladies and gentlemen, and that we've been affected by this. So it's interesting to me that this campaign, for the lack of a better word, is rolled out right now. So don't you think the literacy, for people to be confident, for people to be prepared, they needed to have been prepared for the rollout, prior to the rollout, in order to change, help the emotions, foster a behavior, that says that I'm informed and that I'm comfortable with this. I don't think so. So instead, what they
Mhm.
do, they pull out their heavyweights, hip hop. They pulled out these rappers. You've heard of rappers that haven't made a record in 10 years. wrapping
Which
wrapping the
shows
people
you
up.
who's behind it. Hey, remember, what about that boy? There was a real good guy. What was his name? Nelly. I always liked that Nelly. Get that Nelly to do something. I mean, they're pulling out people that's not even relevant anymore. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
are you kidding me right now?
Oh yeah. Well, and to me, I think these people. I'm sorry if I'm out of line. You can tell me, but I think these people are scum.
Yep.
They're scum serving up, serving things to their own people. If you get poison to your own people, you're no better. You're no better than the people that hired you. You're
Mm-hmm.
worse.
Mm-hmm.
You're worse.
Yeah, well, that's the Samboism. And that's why I had to make sure that we corrected. Hey, Ronnie. That's why we had to make sure that it was corrected by saying it was Sambo who was the cat, not the other one. Everybody says, oh, you're on Uncle Tom. No, it was not Uncle Tom that was the problem. It was Sambo's. You see, they even flip flopped that. They even turned that upside down. So, you guys, it is now 1 hour and 25 minutes that we have all been here chatting. And I want to thank you guys for sharing and coming in with us tonight. We did it a little earlier tonight. I think I like the 7 o'clock slot. What do you think, Black Spring?
I could get behind a 7 o'clock spot.
Yeah, I like the 7 o'clock spot. I like it. I like it. It's a very nice. It's like when I used to go and sing in a small room. It would be considered the what do they call them? The intimate or the very small boutique type room. This is really good. Freedom Farm says, just know it is a war crime to administer experimental treatments without fully informing of the risk. Yes, it is, but they did a lot of stuff, and it's amazing, and that's why I'm saying, it's it's heinous to think that these things were done, and that we now have things about that we use in everyday fashion. But it's terrible. R. Jones says, and at Angela Reed, this has been a year of waking up for me too. I have been so heartbroken realizing that most of the government and sports and entertainers are all sold out because they're all on the same team. Yeah, they're all on the same team. Anthony Van Zant says fear based predictive programming from Vax, DNA, gene therapy, and quantum dot tracking to its bill of goods as they try to push it all with the celebrities because the spring influenza will falsely uptick cases. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Oh, bless your heart, Jen. You are beautiful as well. Just wanted to tell me that, sweetheart, that just picked this 56-year-old lady up for the day. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Me as well. So sad. And it is sad. It is sad. Well, it's 9:26 p.m. in Georgia. LOL. Side note, R. Jones, that blue wrench looks good on you. Yes, it does, R. Jones. How does she even notice? But you know what? I want to thank each and every one of the mods for keeping the room clean. R. Jones had a clean eye the other night, a very keen eye the other night. Ronnie and I were talking about that after the show, and I was like, yeah, she really did, didn't she? And so that's what we want. We want you guys to have autonomy. When you have mostly everybody in here, I don't know any one person in here who does not have the spirit of discernment. And when you discern that there's some cattywampus stuff going on in the chat, zap them. There are some people that one last person that was here, I went back into my blocked people, and I see that individual literally changed one name. They had the same picture, and I knew something looked familiar with the picture. But that one person that you noticed the other day, R. Jones, believe it or not, they had been in here doing some goofballing the last time they were here, and they ended up getting blocked, and I see them on my blocked sheet. However, they kept the same thumbnail, changed the name around a little, and came right on back in. So when you guys who have the wrenches out there see people who are doing no good, who are making crazy statements and just off the wall, like Peaches Peaches 41 was like, yo, what's really going on with you? When you see that type of stuff, you guys just remove them. There really is no need to even time them out, especially if they are making very off color remarks. I mean, this thing here was it was demonic in nature, some of the things that they were saying. And so, yes, We appreciate each and every one of the mods, and welcome to the newest mod, who is R. Jones. And we'll shift those out every now and again. We'll move them around. There'll be sometimes where some people will have them, sometimes where some people won't. But it's just really just about all of us getting in there, looking and making sure that we, keep those individuals out that are not supposed to be here. Not nice. It's just not nice at all. Not nice at all. All right, folks, we're coming up here. We're about to get out. Let's see. Okay, let's see. There's a few folks that are no longer on the tubes. I went looking for what is the guy's name? Um, Afro Synergy News. It was a man by the name of T. West. He was a big
Yes.
Trump supporter, and he's a black guy. And he was, he had some things that he was talking about that I agreed with, some things that I didn't agree with, but I really enjoyed his show. And he's no longer here. And so that really just breaks your heart when you see you've got intelligent people out there that are no longer here, but then you see all of the garbage that is. So it just goes to show what the diet of America really is. Diane Brown says, I'm really late. Gonna watch the replay. Love you all. We love you too. And we're glad you're here. You ain't late, girl. You right on time because we still here right now. Hi, Diane from Angela. Hi, Diane. Back from Diane. Hi. Sounds like you and Black Spring are talking about some good stuff. Well, we're trying. We're really, this is Black History Month. And for those folks, you know what? I think I will show the other two videos right now so that the people who were not here at the very top of the show can see it. And I hope that's okay with everybody who's already been here. I hope that's all right with you guys, but I do want them to at least see this in case they cannot watch the replay as soon as we come off. So Black Spring, you and I will come off for a second. We'll add this third stream in, and this is the one that I really want to show.
Lockhart Perspective.
Chinese TV's Lunar New Year Gala features blackface performers. Chinese state TV included dancers in blackface portraying Africans during a national broadcast as Asia welcomed its Lunar New Year of the Ox Friday with subdued festivities amid travel curbs to contain renewed coronavirus outbreaks. The African song and dance performers came at the start of the Spring Festival Gala, or Xinhuan, one of the world's most watched TV programs. It included Chinese dancers in African-style costumes and dark-face makeup beating drums. The 5-hour annual program, which the state TV has said in the past is viewed by as many as 800 million people, also included tributes to nurses, doctors, and others who fought the coronavirus pandemic that began in central China in late 2019. Chinese ruling Communist Party tries to promote an image of unity with African nations as fellow developing economies, but state broadcaster China Central Television has faced criticism over using blackface to depict African people in previous New Year broadcasts. On Twitter, Black Levity China, a group of people of African descent who work in or with China, called the broadcast, quote, extremely disappointing, end quote. It noted CCTV's 2018 Spring Festival Gala, which featured performers in blackface with a monkey. They said, quote, we cannot stress enough the impact scenes like this have on the African or African diasporic communities living in China, the group said. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective. So that is one of the things that we were talking about, and I was juxtaposing that to what Sandy Aaron and I were saying. We were pretty much saying there's something not right about the whole Gorilla Glue girl thing, and I truly believe that there's more that we're going to find out about that. I think that it was. I think that there's something that's going on. We already talked about the fact that we know that this place has pretty much been sold out to those individuals. Everything that we eat, everything that we drink, everything that we purchase, everything is them. There was even a statement made by one of their leaders that said, hey, you know what? We're glad that we got one of our guys back in there. Now we know everything's going to go fine. Here's the deal. A lot of people want to say, well, it's not going to cause them to be able to trade well. We can't trade now because of what the former president did, which was, of course, already undone. But here's the deal. They were not taking anything. They were not giving us anything. They only wanted the ability to bring their stuff here. And what they did bring, what they did take, was from the land that they had already purchased and farmed, the fruits and vegetables that they had already, from the land that they had already purchased here. So the export that was coming from here to them was their fruits and vegetables that they grew here. Think about that and look that up. Okay. So I think that there's a lot to be said about what's about to go on here. And yeah, it ain't so cool. Black Spring, do you have anything to say in closing before we run on out of here?
No, I don't. I just yes, I think Black History Month is going to unveil some new things. I mean, it's a short month, even though granted it's a short month, but I do think that I will keep my eyes or my head on a swivel, I guess, because I think that this is going to be an opportunity for them to reveal more things about the wokest month of the year.
The
The
wokest my I like that. Say it again. The what month?
the
What month?
wokest month of the year.
Wokest month of the year. Wow.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, you guys, we're at 1 hour 35 minutes, coming up on 1 hour 36 minutes here in about 30 seconds. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank my co-host this evening, Black Spring with Autumn, for joining me. I also want to let you guys know that if you want to find me on other platforms, I can be found on a boatload of them, right? You can go to Odyssey. You can go to Library. You can go to Patreon and join us, join some of the wonderful people here in the chat who've joined us. I want to thank everybody in the chat that has joined. Thank you so very much. We said the other day, Steve Willis, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. We appreciate Steve Willis is the executive producer of the show. And then we've got Ronnie Mann, who is the producer, and he also gives us all of our information and data. And then we've got Black Spring, who is the special correspondent. I say we are a channel in and of ourselves. But yes, so you guys can find me on Library. You can also go to let's see, a boatload of podcasts. Now, when I say boatload, that's because there is a feeder, which is Anchor, and Anchor is the feeder to all the other ones. And so you can go to Anchor. You can go obviously to Blog Talk, which has nothing to do with Anchor. It's something separate that I pay for. So that's a separate thing altogether. So you've got Blog Talk. You've got, I mean, you go there, you put Lockhart Perspective or Felicia Lockhart in the search engine of Chrome or anywhere else, and you'll be able to find everywhere that we are. But you can also cut to the chase and go directly to the front page here on YouTube and look, and you will see where we are located. If you decided that you do want to donate and you want to go to join everybody else over there on Patreon, thank you so very much for doing that. And for those of you who wanted to just go to cut to the chase again and go to Cash App, you can do Cash App $ Lockhart Perspective. Somebody wanted me to mention to you guys, to everybody, that they wanted to say, hey, when you guys give for Cash App, make sure that you're using my business name, which is Lockhart Perspective, because unfortunately they gave to a Felicia Lockhart, and it was not my Cash App. Right. So that person asked that I please share that with everybody. And alternately, if you decide that you want to do like Steve Willis has done in the past and others, and you want to go down there and click that little $ and donate there, that helps us out a great deal here. And it helps keep us on the YouTube platform. If you choose to do that, it would be greatly appreciated as well. You guys, it's been a blessing being with all of you. You can find my friend here, Black Spring with Autumn, on Twitch. I'm on Twitch too, but she's been doing Twitch drives. So go to Twitch and find her over there on Twitch. When you look me up, go over there and look her up on Twitch, because that's where she is, and she's on a bevy of other platforms as well. If you're not already subscribed to her channel, please go over there and subscribe, or watch a couple of the videos, hit a couple of like buttons, which helps even more, and then subscribe, right? So that you stick. That's what I want you guys to do if you choose to do so. It has been a blessing being with you guys tonight. You all take care of one another, be strong, and remember what we always say here on the Lockhart Perspective, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High God. I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective. Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective. Lockhart Perspective. Lockhart Perspective. Lockhart Perspective.